Think about it for just a moment. Every single step you have ever taken in your long life, every walk in the sunshine, every dance, every time you hurried to answer the door or bent down to lift a grandchild, every one of those steps rested on two of the most overlooked and hardest working parts of your entire body, your feet. They have carried you faithfully for 60, 70, 80 years or more, and yet, for most of us, they are the very last thing we ever think to take care of. We tend to our hearts, we watch our blood pressure, we fuss over our diet, and our poor feet, way down there at the bottom, are simply expected to keep going, no matter what. But here is something that very few people ever stop to realize. After 60, your feet become far more than just the things you stand on. They quietly become one of the most important keys to your independence, your safety, and your freedom. Healthy feet are what keep you steady and sure on the ground. Healthy feet are what let you keep walking, keep moving, keep living your life on your own terms. And when your feet begin to hurt, or go numb, or lose their strength, everything changes. You walk less. You move less carefully. You become far more likely to have a stumble or a fall. And at our age, a single fall can change everything in an instant. Your feet, you see, are truly the foundation that your whole independence is built upon. And there is one more thing, and it's so important. Your feet are often the very first place in your body to send you a quiet warning that something bigger might need attention. A change in how they look, or feel, or heal can be an early whisper from the rest of your body. A whisper that is so easy to miss if you're not paying attention. That is exactly why learning to care for them and to listen to them is one of the wisest things you can do for yourself after 60. So today, I want to walk you through 7 simple, gentle habits to keep your feet healthy, strong, and safe. The kind of everyday care that protects your steadiness and your freedom for years to come. Some of these you may already know, but I have a feeling 1 or 2 will open your eyes. And the 7th one, the last habit, is the one I most want you to hold on to, because ignoring it is a mistake far too many people make. So please, do stay with me right to the end. Now, before we take our first step together, let me share an honest and caring word with you, just as a good friend would. Everything I offer you today comes from a place of genuine care, and it's meant as general guidance for looking after yourself well. It is not medical advice, and it is not meant to stand in place of the doctor who knows you and your own health. Our feet in particular can be tied to other things happening in the body, so this matters more than usual. Please treat today as a warm and friendly starting point, and whenever anything I mention touches on your own health, especially any pain, numbness, or change you notice, bring it to your doctor or to a foot specialist called a podiatrist. They know your story, and they can look after you properly. With your safety and comfort held close to my heart, let's gently begin. And before we do, I'd love to know who's here with me today. So somewhere down in the comments, tell me, how are your feet treating you lately? Do they carry you comfortably, or have they been giving you a bit of trouble? I read every comment, and I truly care to know. All right, let's talk about that very first habit. The first habit, and perhaps the most important one of all, is beautifully simple. Look at your feet every single day. I know that may sound almost too basic to matter, but please hear me, because this one small daily habit can protect you more than almost anything else. As we grow older, 2 things quietly happen. Our eyesight and our reach may make it harder to notice what's going on way down at our feet, and at the very same time, our feet may become a little less sensitive, so we don't always feel a small problem the way we once would have. A tiny cut, a blister, a red patch, a bit of swelling, these can begin and quietly grow into something serious, all without us ever feeling a thing. So make it a gentle daily ritual. Perhaps in the evening, when you sit down to rest, take a moment to really look at both of your feet. Check the tops, the soles, the heels, and in between every toe. You're simply looking for anything new or unusual. A cut, a sore, a blister, redness, swelling, or a change in color. If bending down to see is difficult, and for many of us it truly is, there's a lovely simple trick. Place a small mirror on the floor and hold your foot above it, or ask someone you trust to take a look for you. And if you ever do spot something that worries you, or a sore that just isn't healing the way it should, don't wait and hope, let your doctor know. Catching these things early while they're small is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Which brings us gently to the second habit. Wash your feet well and, this part is so important, dry them thoroughly, especially between the toes. Warm water and a mild soap each day is all it takes to keep them clean and fresh. But it's the drying that so many people forget, and it truly matters. When moisture is left lingering between the toes, in that warm and hidden space, it creates exactly the conditions where troublesome fungus and infections love to grow. So after washing, take a soft towel and gently pat every part of your foot dry, and then carefully dry the little spaces between each toe, one by one. It only takes a few extra seconds, but it makes a real difference in keeping your feet comfortable and healthy. And that leads us naturally into the third habit, which is to keep the skin of your feet soft and moisturized. As the years go by, our skin naturally becomes drier and thinner, and the skin on our feet is no exception. Dry skin on the feet can crack, especially around the heels, and those cracks can be painful, and they can open the door to infection. So after your feet are clean and dry, take a good moisturizing cream or lotion and gently massage it into the tops and the soles and the heels of your feet. Not only does this keep the skin soft and supple, but that gentle massage feels absolutely wonderful and helps get the blood moving too. Now here's one small but important thing to remember. Put the lotion everywhere except between your toes. That's the one place you want to keep dry, for the very reason we just spoke about. Everywhere else, moisturize away, and your feet will thank you for it. The fourth habit is to take proper care of your toenails, because when nails aren't tended to well, they can cause real discomfort. The gentle rule to remember is to trim them straight across, rather than curving down deeply into the corners. Cutting too far down into the corners is what can lead to a painful ingrown toenail where the edge of the nail digs into the tender skin beside it. So trim straight across, and don't cut them too short. Now, I know that reaching and trimming toenails can become genuinely difficult after 60. The bending, the reaching, the steadiness it takes, and nails that have grown thicker over the years. So please, if this has become a struggle for you, there is no shame at all in getting help. A family member can lend a hand, or better still, a foot specialist can care for your nails safely and properly. That's exactly what they're there for, and it's a very common and sensible thing to do. Now, if you're finding this helpful so far, do me one small kindness and tap that like button. It genuinely helps this reach more good people our age who could use a little care today. Thank you so much. Now on to the fifth habit. And this one protects you every single time you take a step. The fifth habit is to wear the right shoes. Because after 60, the shoes on your feet are not about fashion at all. They are about safety, comfort, and keeping you upright and steady. The right pair of shoes supports your feet, cushions every step, and grips the floor to help protect you from a slip or a fall. The wrong pair can rub and pinch and throw off your balance in ways you might not even notice. So look for shoes that are sturdy and supportive, with a good non-slip sole and enough room in the front so your toes aren't cramped or squeezed. Avoid anything with a slippery bottom, and be very careful with loose, worn-out slippers around the house, because those are behind so many falls at home. And here is a little secret that surprises many people. Your feet actually change shape and size as you get older. They often grow a little longer and wider over the years, so the shoe size you wore at 50 may not be your true size today at all. It's well worth having your feet measured properly, and always choosing comfort and a good fit over anything else. And one gentle piece of advice I'll add, try to avoid walking around barefoot, even inside your own home. A supportive pair of shoes or proper slippers protects your feet from stubs and cuts and gives you that steady, sure footing on the floor. Your balance begins at your feet, and it begins with what you put on them. The sixth habit is to keep the blood flowing and to keep your feet moving. You see, your feet are the farthest point in your whole body from your heart, which means good circulation all the way down there can become more of a challenge as we age. And healthy blood flow is what keeps your feet warm, helps them heal, and keeps them feeling alive and well. So the gentle goal is simply to keep that blood moving. Try not to sit still for very long stretches without a break. When you've been sitting a while, wiggle your toes, gently circle your ankles, and point and flex your feet a few times, right there in your chair. When you're resting, it can help to put your feet up a little. And try not to sit with your legs tightly crossed for long periods, as that can press on the flow of blood. Keeping your feet comfortably warm helps too, with cozy socks on cooler days. These are the small, easy kindnesses that keep your feet healthy from the inside. And of course, any gentle movement or walking you do, with your doctor's blessing, sends good, healthy blood flowing right down to your toes. And if these habits are helping you today, please do subscribe so we can keep looking after ourselves, from head to toe, together. Now, the seventh and final habit, and the one I most want you to remember. The seventh habit is this: never, ever ignore what your feet are trying to tell you. This is the one I truly want to stay with you long after this video ends. Because your feet, as we said at the very beginning, are often the first place your body sends up a quiet warning flag. And those warnings are so easy to brush aside and ignore. But please don't. If you notice ongoing pain that won't settle, or numbness, or a strange tingling or burning feeling, or a loss of sensation in your feet, that is your body asking you to pay attention. If you see a change in color, or a coldness that lingers, or swelling that doesn't go down, or a sore or a cut that simply refuses to heal, these too are worth taking seriously. Now, I am not telling you any of this to frighten you. Not at all. I'm telling you because so many people notice these very things and quietly decide, oh, it's nothing, it's just getting old. And they wait, and they say nothing. And that waiting is the real danger. These signs can sometimes be an early whisper about your circulation, your nerves, or your overall health. The kind of whisper that is so much easier to deal with when it's caught early rather than late. So if your feet are sending you any of these signals, the wise and loving thing to do for yourself is simply this: make an appointment and tell your doctor. Let them take a proper look. More often than not, it brings peace of mind. And when it doesn't, you'll be so grateful you listened early. Your feet are talking to you. The seventh habit is simply to listen. So there we have it. 7 simple, gentle habits to keep your feet healthy, strong, and safe after 60. Let's gather them all up together one last time so they stay with you. Look at your feet every single day. Wash them and dry them well, especially between the toes. Keep the skin soft and moisturized. Care for your toenails properly and get help if you need it. Wear the right, supportive shoes. Keep the blood flowing and your feet moving. And above all, never ignore what your feet are trying to tell you. Not a single one of these is complicated. Not one of them costs very much at all. And every one of them is something you can begin, gently and quietly, this very day. And please don't feel you must do all 7 perfectly, all at once. Just choose the one that spoke to you most, and begin there. Perhaps tonight, you'll simply take a good look at your feet for the first time in a long while. That alone is a wonderful and loving place to start. Because caring for your feet is truly caring for your independence, your steadiness, and your freedom to keep living the life you love, on your own 2 feet. So now I'd love to hear from you. Tell me down in the comments, which of these 7 habits are you going to start with today? And has anyone ever told you before just how much your feet matter to your balance and your freedom? I read every single comment, and I so look forward to hearing from you. And if this helped you today, please give it a like, so that more wonderful people our age can find it too. And do subscribe, so we can keep taking good care of ourselves, together, every step of the way. Take very good care of yourself, and of those hard-working feet. And I will see you very soon in the next one.